Hi, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could stop by to see what we're doing. In this lesson, we're in part 7 on how to practice scales. This is the final segment. It's the 5th position of the Ionian mode, the Aeolian form, and the 5th position of the pentatonic major form, the reserved form. All right, so let's just get to it. But wait, press that red button down there in the corner and you'll be subscribed to Outsmart Your Guitar. Ring the notification bell and you'll be informed when new content is posted, which is around once a week or so. Down in the description, you'll find a link to patreon.com Outsmart Your Guitar, where you can go and subscribe and become a patron at one of 2 levels. And in so doing, continue to support my efforts to provide you with high quality lesson material to help you learn, play, and grow to be the guitar player you desire to be, to play the music you love. Sound good? All right, let's just get right to it. We're in the 5th position of the Ionian mode, the Aeolian form. And that starts at the 14th fret. So we go with our first finger on the 6th string at 14, 3rd finger at 16, 4th finger at 17. Repeat that on the 5th string. On the 4th string, 1st finger at 14, but now the 4th finger at 16, so that we can play the 13th fret on the 3rd string with the 1st finger, 14th fret with 2nd finger, 16th fret with the 4th finger. Now we shift back to 14 on the 2nd string with the 1st finger, 2nd finger at 15, 4th finger at 17. 1st finger at 14 on the 1st string, 3rd finger at 16 on the 1st string, and 4th finger at 17. Now, that's a root. And then you have a root here, and you have a root here. Now, to play this well, here's a little clue for you. Put your thumb at around the 12th fret on the spine. And the reason is that you want to be able to pivot on your thumb so your 4th finger can swing up and reach the 17th fret of the 6th string and the 5th string, respectively. Okay? So, triple tap your roots as you play through this to keep you in the key of A and playing the major scale. Now, if you play a Les Paul style guitar, it joins the neck at 16. And if you have small fingers, what I'm going to suggest next will be a possible help to getting this playing easier for you. On the 14th fret of the 6th string, start with your 1st finger. Play the 16th fret with your 2nd finger. Play the 17th fret with your 3rd finger. Your thumb will still be up here at the 12th fret on the neck and back. Then play the 5th string the same way. On the 4th string, play with your 1st and 3rd fingers. And then from the 3rd string on to the 2nd and 1st, you should be able to play normal. Okay? So pause the video and practice this for a few minutes, smooth it out, bring in the metronome, further smooth it out, playing 2 notes per beat. All right? Then, once you've got it fairly comfortable and flowing well, restart the video. Okay, we're going to play over the progression that we've been using throughout this series. Remember that. And you're going to play the scale up and back a couple of times, and then go into something melodic, staying strictly in the fifth position. Now, pause the video and play over the progression for, I don't know, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Get comfortable playing in this position, taking advantage of everything, starting with low, playing high. Don't forget to play the low notes as part of a melody too. Use the whole position. Exploit everything. Get comfortable with that idea. And then, when you're ready to move forward, press play. Let's look at the pentatonic major, fifth position, the reserved form. You're going to be at the 14th fret. Your thumb is going to be at the 12th fret on the spine to facilitate pivoting. So you start with your first finger on the 6th string at 14, and then your 4th finger at 17, and then move over to the 5th string at 14 with your first finger, and then your 3rd finger at 16. For the next 2 strings, you do the exact same thing. And then on the 2nd string, you go with your first finger at 14 and your 4th finger at 17, and do the same thing on the 1st string. Now remember, your roots are here, here, and here. Now, again, if you have a Les Paul style guitar with a 16th fret body joint, you can use your first finger at 14 and your 3rd finger at 17. Up here on the 2nd and 1st strings, you should be able to use your 1st and 4th fingers like normal. Okay? Remember to tap your root 3 times. All right, so pause the video and take your time here, get comfortable with it, smooth it out, bring in the metronome, playing 2 notes per beat, and when you've got that really nice and comfortable and flowing, restart the video. All right, let's bring in the backing track. And remember, play the scale up and back a couple of times and then break into something melodic. pause the video and play over the progression for a few times more if you want, 5 minutes maybe a little longer. If you have a lot of fun, stay put. Just stay strictly pentatonic major here in the 5th position. Don't go adding any other notes in any other way, just strictly this scale. All right? Then, when you've done that for 5 minutes or so, restart the video and we'll keep going. Let's look at the dexterity exercise for the Ionian mode. We're in the 5th position, remember, so it's Aeolian. Again, your thumb should be sitting at 12 on the back of the neck there, and you start with your 4th finger, and the fingering is mostly the same. I'll talk to you when it changes. Here, 2nd finger, so your 1st finger can do this. 1st finger here to move over there. Turn around. Fourth finger here. Third finger here. Okay? So, pause the video, practice this nice and slow. Get your fingering working for you so that you're able to play it smooth and flowing. Remember, this is an exercise that is for dexterity, but these kinds of things can also be played in the midst of a solo as well. So that's another reason it's good to know this stuff. So, as I said, pause the video, work on this for 5 minutes or more, get it smooth, then bring in a metronome, maybe at a slower tempo, and play just 2 notes per beat to smooth it out. All right? Then, once you've got that, go ahead and restart the video. Let's now take a gander at the pentatonic major, 5th position, the reserve form dexterity exercise. Now, this one's going to be good to help you learn to move a finger shifting from one string to another, which we've been doing off and on throughout this whole series. These dexterity exercises in the pentatonic major actually really give you a workout in that regard. Okay, so we're at the 14th fret again. Your thumb at 12 on the spine. So start at 14 on 6, move over to the 5th string, bring your 4th finger in at 17, go to 16 on the 5th string, 14 on 5 and 4, 16 on 5 and 4, 14 on 4 and 3, 16 on 4 and 3, 14 on 3 and 2, 16 on 3, 17 on 2, 14 on 2 and 1, 17 on 2 and 1. Now we're going to come back down. So 14 on 1 and 2, 17 on 2, 16 on 3, 14 on 2 and 3, 16 on 3 and 4, 14 on 3 and 4, 16 on 4 and 5, 14 on 4 and 5, 16 on 5, 17 on 6, 14 on 5 and 6, ending on 17 on 6. Okay, I walked through that a little quick, so if you need to rewind and rewatch that little segment, go ahead and do that. That's the beauty of the technology. I only have to demonstrate it once. You've got rewind to look at it again and again. And you've got the diagram right there as well, and in the written material. So pause the video, play through this for a few minutes, get it smooth and flowing, then put it to a metronome playing 2 notes per beat until it's nice and flowing. All right? Then, when you're ready to continue, press play. Let's look at transitions in the Ionian mode. We're going to be transitioning from the 4th position into the 5th position, the Mixolydian to the Aeolian. All right, so you start in Mixolydian at the bottom, and our first transition will be on the 2nd string. So here, at the 12th fret on the 2nd string, you transition, leading with your 1st finger up 2 frets. This is where your 1st finger sits in the Aeolian form, the 5th position. Now, transition back in descending 2 frets. Your 1st finger sits here normally, right? So you just keep going. The 2nd transition takes place on the 3rd string. The 11th fret up to 13th fret into the Aeolian form, the 5th position. This is where your 1st finger sits naturally during the 5th position. Transition back 2 frets to 11. This is where your finger normally sits in Mixolydian, right? The 3rd transition takes place on the 4th string. Now we're just going to move up 1 fret with our 1st finger, and we're going to straddle. So your 2nd finger at 14 on the 4th string, your 4th finger at 16. Now you're in position in the 5th position, the Aeolian form, to continue. Straddle back, 2nd finger at 14, 1st finger at 12, slide back 1, and you're in Mixolydian. Now, there is a transition I did not include here. It's on the 5th string. It's very much like the 4th string transition. Move up 1 fret, straddle the 2 positions, and continue on the 4th string. And then straddle, straddle, back 1 fret, just like that. Pause the video, practice this, get it smooth, each transition point. Then bring in a metronome to help you play the transitions in time, 2 notes per beat, and do this until it's comfortable. All right? Then, when you're ready to continue, press play, and we'll keep going. Let's bring in the rhythm track again, and you're going to play all 3 transitions in order, ascending and descending, between the 4th and the 5th position of the scale, the Mixolydian and the Aeolian forms, and then break into something melodic. Something maybe like this. 2, 3, 4. First transition. Second transition. Third transition. Bonus. All right, pause the video. Spend 10 minutes or more on this. No kidding, 10 minutes or more. Really get into this and get comfortable making all these transitions. And that's the whole idea. Getting really comfortable with this and seeing the possibilities. And don't leave out the low strings and stay mostly in the high strings. Play everywhere. See what they have to offer melodically, the lower strings. Okay? Then, when you're done and ready to continue, press play and we'll keep going. Let's look at the pentatonic major transitions between the 4th position and the 5th position, the ordered form and the reserved form. Now, you just start out in the 4th position, right? First transition is going to take place on the 2nd string. So you'll move up from 12 to 14. And coming back down from 14 to 12. The second transition takes place on the 3rd string. Now, you can jump with your first finger, like this. This makes the most sense. Third transition takes place on the 4th string and is identical to the 2nd transition. Move up. Back down. The 4th transition takes place on the 5th string. Pretty straightforward stuff. All right, so pause the video, walk through all this, work it out, smooth it out, bring in the metronome to further smooth being able to play through the transitions in time. All right, then when you've got that down, press play and we'll keep going. Let's bring in the backing track and play through all 4 transitions in order, up and back, and then break into something of a melodic nature. Maybe something along these lines. 3, 4. First transition. Second transition. Third transition. Fourth transition. All right, pause the video. Your turn. Take 10 minutes or more. Really dig into this and have some fun with it and enjoy the process. You really want to exploit all those transition points and learn to be fluid in moving up and back between the 2 positions so that you get this fully in hand. All right? Then, when you're ready to continue, press play. All right, there you go. Something to chew on, right? And now that you have all 5 positions of the scale laid out and the transitions laid out for you as well, you have a lot to focus on when you're practicing scale. These are the things you want to bear in mind when you're practicing. You've got to study the parts so that you understand what it is you need to practice. The study is the learning. So learn stuff well so that you can practice it well and then begin to integrate it into what you're actually doing when you're playing with other people, whether in a jam or learning solos by other people or creating your own solos. This is the stuff you need to drill into and do when you practice any given scale. All right? That'll do it for today. When you're ready for more lessons, they're out there, they'll be there, I'll be there, and you know I'll see you there.